Holy shit.
Ow! What was that? What was that?
A helicopter.
With like the pilot and everything?
So the first spoiler I want to talk about is the fact that this monster shows up at the same time, at the same place in Korea, every single night, right?
Every night.
But in the final scene that they show us, the monster showing up, and there's a bunch of people still there, right? People are having dinner. People are having dinner. The monster shows up at that same exact time, and they look over. Oh, there's a monster over there. Like, you
But
guys
they know it's gonna happen.
It's been happening for how long?
It's crazy because people are like, well, you don't know this. No, they have an alarm go off every time, every night.
The army's there. The army is there waiting for them.
They haven't evacuated.
People have like shopping bags walking around, like, hey, it's a monster.
They haven't evacuated anybody. They've stayed there, and I'm just like, what? What's the logic behind this? Like, I don't understand how they can constantly kill people in the same spot when they know the monster's gonna be there.
Why don't they quarantine that area? Why don't they
You can't come over
the
here.
area?
It's like a fucking fire drill. It's like, leave the building. You're not gonna. You learned this in elementary school. Like, earthquake, duck under the desk. Fire, leave the building. Like, what?
If like a volcano erupts, they're not going to be like, well,
we gotta stay
here.
We gotta do
like,
what we gotta
hey,
do.
this volcano's going to erupt tomorrow at 8 o'clock too. Like, well, I'm not about you guys. I'm going to stay here.
I'm gonna say my prayers, but I'm staying here, man.
It was kind of the same thing that I talked to you about before with Gotham. Like,
Right.
why don't people just leave Gotham?
Joker's trying to overtake it. Bane overtook
blowing
it.
up ferries. Ferries that cost like $14 each way if you live in Seattle. Like, I gotta pay $14 and I'm gonna get blown up.
Oh, come on, man! I'm leaving Gotham.
Yeah, like Bane cut out all he cut out all the bridges, right? You're just stuck
And the government's
in
like not letting them leave.
No.
And it's just like, dude, like a few casualties, let them go. Like,
Dude,
come on.
at that point, if Bane blew up all those things, I'm like, oh, it's kind of on me for not having left after
Right.
Scarecrow just completely shot all
Joker
this
blew
poison.
up a hospital.
Yeah.
Granted, nobody was in it, but
Oh.
he blew up a hospital.
It's terrible. Just move out of Gotham at
Yeah.
the same time. Move out of Seoul.
It's
like just
nothing's keeping you.
move 10 miles away from Seoul.
I would rather go to North Korea.
Yes, North Korea
than stay in
seems
Seoul.
much safer than Seoul at this moment.
At this moment,
Well,
like,
I wouldn't say that
like
too many times in my life.
Yeah,
that
exactly.
I'd rather go to North Korea for
in this circumstance, it made absolutely. They made no logical argument as to why this many people were still in Seoul in this specific area. Huge drawback for the film, and I know it's like, oh, suspend disbelief. This it has nothing to do with disbelief. It has to do with like stupidity and just like doing like what like every other movie shows an evacuation plan.
Yeah.
And I know Seoul, Korea wasn't the purpose and like the focal point of the movie. But when you make it such a big deal in the movie, like the monster's not showing up in her small hometown, it's showing up in Seoul. So like, give them some credibility in the story, you know. And
I understand the writers and directors are like, this is the thing that was holding it together.
Right.
Like, this is the way Jason Sudeikis was able to hold her in
Right.
the city.
Right.
But at the same time, it does not defy logic as to why they are not evacuated. You guys need to be smarter about you guys need to be smarter about having him hold her in, you know, that small town as he wanted to with the whole monster thing. Like maybe she pops up in different cities or something.
Right. You can draw it back to like 10 Cloverfield Lane. Like he kept her there because it's like it's not safe outside.
Yes.
Like there was no point where I'm like, she can easily just leave the hometown.
But then,
Like,
but then the whole thing was supposed to be like, oh, she doesn't want a bunch of people to die. But at the same time, remember that scene where he beats her up. First of all, he beats her up. But at the same time, he beats her up. Domestic abuse.
And
But
you
I
still don't care.
I still do not care about her or her character. And he beats her up, he pushes her to the ground, and he's like, watch this. And he starts stomping on what is supposed to be imaginary people, and like you hear screams and all that. But if you really look at it,
He's like stepping on wood
he's
chips.
stepping on some wood chips.
And you're like,
this might be a good like acting exercise for Anne Hathaway, but for the audience, I could not just like try to imagine that. I was like, oh, he's killing
I'm like,
a bunch
if
of
you
people.
show me like a kid getting his head like decapitated because his body was just imploded by this big robot,
But
like foot, then yeah.
then maybe.
Yeah, and I say robot because, oh, spoiler alert, Jason Sudeikis has his own little big robot that comes and, is with the monster because of this whole little childhood thing they had. You gotta watch the movie, it's all over the fucking place. But
Well, if you're watching the spoilers, you've probably seen the movie.
you've probably
I
seen the
hope
movie.
so.
Yeah, and then, I mean, there's a ton of other things. Like, they don't wrap the movie up.
No,
very well at all.
No, so at the end, she gets the bright idea. I don't know how she gets this idea, except that a map turns 180, and then she's
I
like,
was looking away from the screen at
Oh,
that time. I just know
that's
she ends up in Korea.
well, at some point at the map, she has a map, and like it turns one of the tacks comes off, and it turns 180, and then she gets an idea that hey, if I go to Korea, then I'll be a big. How does that logic come up? Where
I'll be a
the
big
logic
person
from?
in my small
Doesn't
hometown.
make any sense.
First of all,
how does she know that if she goes to Seoul, Korea, she's going to become a big version of herself or of the monster in her hometown?
Right.
And that seemed like a lazy.
I feel like this movie would be better as a novel, where they explain more.
So, what do you guys think of the movie? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys love it? Please comment below. Well, this is Black and Yellow Movies. Please subscribe and like our videos. We have other independent and foreign movies that we think you should watch.
Oh yeah. So
And-
click on those links and yeah, we'll see you.
Yeah, so we'll be back next week for another independent and foreign movie.